Today I'm continuing my paint experiments with quite a miscellaneous group. I call this the maroons or the violet oxides. You can give whatever name you like, but pretty much any color that's a desaturated violet, purple, brownish colors with a tint of violet in them. I classify them in this group. I don't usually paint with them that much, although I was inspired by somebody on YouTube, I don't remember who exactly, might be Alyona, to try the Naphthamide Maroon from Daniel Smith. And I'm gonna swatch him, check my 5 properties: the dispersion, layering, the gradient, lifting, and the opacity. And then we'll come back and see what these paints look like. Just a heads up, if you have one of these Daniel Smith Primotex, just keep an eye on them. Mine almost dried in the tube. I was able to squeeze it in a pan, and you can see it looks very rough, but I'll try to see if it's still working if I soften it up a little bit with water. But yeah, let's see how they look swatched down, and we'll come back, see if we can paint something with them. Swatches are dry, and I'm back to look at them and see what am I thinking about this. First of all, I'm going to try and lift, and this Naphthamide Maroon definitely looks a little bit more saturated than the other examples here. It does stain the paper a little bit, so you would not be able to lift it all the way to the white of the paper. It moved really well in water. I used a little bit more pigment, and then when I tried to layer it, it does get shiny if it's too thick. A pretty nice gradient. This was my mistake. I touched a little bit in this swatch, and then it's fairly transparent. You can see only slightly deposits on that black line. A Potter's Pinks from Winsor and Newton, very nicely granulated. There are several YouTube videos that explore this color. As much as I like the granulation, and I know it's used to create interesting colors, I'm not using it as much. I'm not sure why. It's just probably my subject matter or my landscape. I like them to be very colorful, but I'll give it a try. Definitely deposits on the black line there, and interesting layering. After the second layer, the third one didn't make much of a difference. Then I have the violet iron oxide and Caput Mortum from Sennelier. These are the same pigments, PR101. They look slightly different. The DaVinci, it's a little bit more violet, grayed out. And then the Caput Mortum from Sennelier, slightly reddish. And it lifts a little easier, I would say, but still it would stain your paper slightly. The DaVinci one, I feel like it has a stronger staining power. They both are nice, both are very opaque, and again with Sennelier, it's not just the pigment color but a slightly white dots on the dark line. I'm not sure exactly what that is. Very very interesting colors. They have some texture, not as much as the Potter's Pink, but I would try to do some mixes, see how they would react. And last but not least, the Piemontite Genuine from Daniel Smith. Same hue, in my opinion, kind of the brownish, reddish color. It does lift quite well. Well, I wouldn't say well now that I look at it, but this was a very light layer. Maybe a little better than the previous ones. You can see the paper back to white. It moves quite well in water. Certain pigments move faster than others, and some of the dark pigments separates. It does have a dark granulation. I wonder if you have almost like a reddish brown, a burnt umber, and mix it with Mars black or a granulating black from other brands, if you would have the same effect as this Piemontite Genuine. Very interesting granulation, a little bit of separation right here. These colors, they're best, at least in my opinions, when they're watered down and you use them for techniques where you use a lot of water. A little bit of deposit on the black line, but not too much. And these are my reddish, brownish, whatever you want to call them, colors. I'm still trying to get used to them and find the purpose. It's not like they don't have a purpose, it's my style of painting. I like to use more primary, bright colors. I tried to put together a sketch. I was inspired, and you can barely see the lines, but I'll show you from this book, Painting in Watercolor by David Webb. I have a lot of glare on this cover, but there was this painting in here that looks really, really nice. I like the perspective, the bridge, the colors. I like these dark colors, and I think it's better to use transparent colors to get this dark value. But anyway, I'll give it a try and see what comes out of this. And I'm back. I just want to remind everybody, this is the painting that inspired me to try and kind of do similar scene using different colors. In this original painting, the painter uses a lot of transparent colors, maybe some phthalo blue, some burnt sienna or red oxide, and he gets to do this very cool effect, and then this very, very dark shadows with granulating colors or opaque colors. It's almost impossible to achieve that kind of darkness. So you can see I tried to do some mixes with ultramarine, and I used DaVinci's ultramarine, which has a nice granulation, but it doesn't get too dark. And on this particular area I wanted really deep shadows, so I use a bit of a I want to say phthalo turquoise from DaVinci. I tried to use mostly the colors that I showed. This beautiful desaturated violets, and then Naphthamide maroon, that's a little bit on the red side. This is my painting I really enjoy in this lighter value, these areas, not so much the darks. They seem a little dull and almost chalky, but overall I think I was managed to capture almost like a fall day. And with desaturated color, I always like to add in the bright, so just it's my preference for painting. So you can see a little bit of yellow, blue, and then the Naphthamide maroon had enough red in it that I didn't feel like I need to add a orange, although I did add a little bit on the bridge to get a focal of interest. But thank you so much for following this channel, and I feel bad not recording this process. To be honest, I was kind of nervous that it's not gonna come out and it's gonna end up in the trash, but I should just go ahead and record, and then you can always delete it later. But let me know if you want to see more painting speed through. It's kind of fun to do. Sometimes I stop, but I can always edit that out. I'll see you in my next video.